All right, guys, welcome in. This is episode 7 of Will and Nick Save the World. And you're probably thinking, what is going on? Nick is there. Will is here. They're usually the flip opposite of that. Well, I don't know.
We switch bodies.
Yes, that's Freaky Friday.
So we're actually in the same spot. We're just in the wrong bodies is all.
No, we honestly just thought about this about 2 minutes before we started. We were like, what if we switch spots? And Nick was like, all right.
Yeah, let's just do it now. If we're going to do it, let's just do it right now.
Yeah. And I taught Nick, I was like, you click the record button and we're good.
Look at
and
that.
that's pretty much it. And we got it all set up. So
the podcast is advancing every week.
So one thing you forgot there, here's your phone.
Oh,
that could be important
because
you could get, a lot of messages from online dating or whatever the case may be.
Well, I could get messages from my social medias, which kind of segues nicely into our main topic today, which we tried to do last week, but we got a little sidetracked. We got extra sidetracked.
We got a lot of sidetracked.
But we're going to try to dive into social media and just how you can, I guess, go about creating a social media presence and just kind of the motivator behind getting started in social media. Because when you first start and you have zeros across the board, it can be a little daunting.
It can be, and it can also be, daunting is a good word for it. And I think it can also be overwhelming and kind of discouraging because if you don't get those immediate results, I think people feel like they should just give up. You know what I mean?
I think it's really easy to see zeros and, put a lot of effort in for maybe 1 week, which could feel like a whole bunch, and still see zeros and be like, all right, well, not for me.
Right. And that's what happens. I mean, but you just got to keep going. But we'll get into that.
Yeah, we're going to get into it a little bit later.
So we're going to start with the Oscars, right?
Yes, okay. We are.
So we're going to start with the Oscars. The Academy Awards were last night. So if you guys watch movies like I do, Will Foxification on YouTube, shout out to myself.
Shameless plug.
So I do movie reviews. So I've seen all of these movies that appeared in the Academy Awards last night, except for like documentaries and short films, stuff like that. I didn't know anything about that.
Okay.
My brother and I did like kind of the Super Bowl, you do like a prediction sheet.
Sure.
Like over, under, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So but the Oscars is just predicting the winners. So we did that, and the documentary and short film, short animated, I'm just guessing. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the other ones, I like nailed it. So I beat my brother pretty bad.
Oh.
So yeah, he did pretty well, but mine, I was like, I know this stuff, so I know who's going to win. But
we're dealing with a professional over here.
Yes. Well, I mean, kind of, but not really. I'm not like a Rotten Tomatoes critic.
But very respectable.
I try.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll give myself that. I try.
There you go. And on quite the opposite end of the spectrum, I did not watch the Oscars, nor do I literally ever watch movies. So there's a chance that some of the movies that you're going to tell me which I'm interested to hear about, I've maybe never heard of them. Yeah. But I'm sure there's some of them that I have to have heard of, that I at least saw the previews and know that it exists.
Well, you know about Joker.
Yes, that's the one that I definitely know about.
But you still haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen the movie, but that is also the one I told Will ahead of time that I wanted to put in my 2 cents on the Oscars, because on Instagram, I did see that the Joker won.
Yeah.
And I'll let you talk for a little bit, and then maybe we'll dive into that, because that's literally all I have to contribute to this topic.
It's okay. We're going to contribute again, and we're going to hit this topic pretty quick, I think.
Yeah.
But the Academy Awards went pretty well. They didn't have a host again. This is actually the second year in a row there was no host. With the Kevin Hart thing that happened a couple years ago, I think they've kind of gone away from hosting a little bit.
So what exactly happened there? Just brief me real quick.
So basically, he had some tweets from the past, or one in particular, about some interpreted as homophobic comments.
Yes, I actually do remember.
And he was willing to apologize to, the people it affected, but not the Academy, because the Academy was like demanding an apology, and he was like, no. So, and they were like, okay, well, you're not hosting. And they kind of wanted him back, I think. I don't know the story completely, but basically he said no and just bowed out from it.
Wow.
So it was messy.
So hold on, they unlisted him prior to the event happening, or this was post-event? Okay.
Yeah, pre-event. So he didn't actually ever do it, even though, and supposedly his dream was always to host the Oscars. So he was really bummed out about it. But
it's unfortunate.
And he would have been perfect, man. He would have been perfect for it. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
And but yeah, anyway, so that's what happened. So there's no host. It just kind of rolls pretty quickly. It still takes about 3.5 hours for the show.
Sure.
There were mostly pretty expected winners. Like everyone who was expected to win, for the most part, won. But there were a couple really big upsets. One thing you might have seen, I don't know if you saw.
Nope.
But so already the answer is no. The best picture winner was a foreign film. It was actually called Parasite. It's a Korean film.
Oh, I've seen the previews, and I think I've seen it on like Netflix or something like that, like it advertised. I thought it was a TV show, though.
Oh no, yeah, it's a film. It's
Interesting.
yeah, so it's a film, it's a Korean film. I actually had the chance to see it a little while back. I really liked it. Wouldn't have been my pick though.
Is it in Korean, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Does
Yeah,
it
it's,
have
it's
subtitles?
subtitled. It's
Yeah, that's
subtitled.
cool, man. I like that.
Yeah, I've loved a lot of films like that that are subtitled. One that's really gets a lot of underappreciation is Apocalypto. It was directed by Mel Gibson, actually.
I've definitely heard that name before, but I definitely never seen it and couldn't tell you
It's
anything
like
about it.
Native American, I guess you would call them Native Americans, and it's like Mayans and stuff, and they basically are going like sacrifices, and it gets pretty crazy, and they're chasing them down through the woods and stuff. It's pretty crazy, but it's good. But basically, as far as the Oscars go, most of the winners were predictable. Everyone, Brad Pitt won, Laura Dern won, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker did win.
Did he win for the movie or won for like best actor?
Best actor.
Oh,
yeah, for the
interesting.
best picture, that was Parasite. So Joker was nominated, I think, for 11 awards. It only won 3.
Whoa, but
So-
still 11 nominations. That's a big deal.
That's a lot. That's a
Wow.
lot. I thought I was worried it might get shut out besides Joaquin, but it won best original score, I think, as well. And I think maybe makeup or costume design. Not makeup because Bombshell won that, but it won something else too. So it won 3. But,
Wow. Hey, good for that movie.
Yeah, and
Good for that
Joaquin
cast.
definitely deserved. But basically, for best picture, to sum it up, and best director, actually the director for Parasite won too, best director, which was kind of a surprise as well.
Hey, good for them.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be the director of a movie called 1917, which was
Okay.
a war film. It was a war film, and it's shot to feel like one continuous take, so it feels like there's no cuts in the whole thing. There are, but they're hidden. So you got to watch, man. It's so immersive. That's my pick for best picture, and that was the favorite going in.
Man, just on the editing skills alone, because
Right.
you know they didn't shoot that thing in one take.
No, it's
So
legit.
just on the edits, that's awesome.
It did win for best cinematography though.
Oh,
so
good.
which makes sense.
Good for them.
But because Roger Deakins, the guy who shot it, is the GOAT. I mean, he is the GOAT of cinematography.
Okay.
He's amazing, man.
Shout out Roger.
Roger Deakins. He's awesome. But that basically my summer of the Oscars is I liked it. The one thing I will say, and not sure how controversial this is going to be.
Ooh.
On Twitter, I posted about this too, and yeah, it seemed fine. But I don't like how political the Oscars are. Personally.
I've heard that for a long time.
I'm not a fan of that because I don't follow politics myself, and I don't turn on the Oscars to be lectured to.
Sure.
So like, and I don't follow politics, so I don't need that in my life. So, and I think a lot of people feel the same way, and a lot of people who don't feel the same way, and that's fine.
Yep.
And it's their award show; they can do what they want. But to me, my opinion, if I'm just giving my 2 cents about it, it's an award show to acknowledge the greatness of the filmmakers and the films that year.
Sure.
It's not a platform to preach political ideals to the masses.
So who is it? The people that are winning the awards when they're giving their
Yes.
speeches?
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. See, so I guess I'd go back and forth with you on this a little bit.
Sure.
I agree to the point that if it's like a movie award show or a film, that's probably insulting.
Right.
Is film more proper term?
Yeah, sure. Either way.
So, okay. So like a film awards, movies, I guess, whichever. Yeah. Celebrate the film, celebrate the actors, celebrate the directors, all that kind of stuff. But I do think that once people win their award and it is an opportunity for them to speak, I'm here for them saying whatever they want. I can totally agree
Yeah.
with you thinking or, feeling like, this isn't what I tuned in for. But at the same time, like they worked really hard, whoever it may be. And that's their, I want to say 15 seconds of fame. Clearly, they're all pretty famous. They're winning
Right.
the Oscars. But, it's their time to speak. And if that's what they want to say, so be it.
Right. And I totally agree with that assessment in terms of what they want to say. They have the right to say that.
Yeah.
So I would never be like, you don't have the right to say that. You know what I mean? I would never say you can't say that.
Sure.
I would just say that I don't think that should be a part of the show because I don't think that's not what I tune in for.
Okay.
And and I understand they have the right, to say whatever they want, but I also think, it's a time to enjoy those things without bringing in things that are extraneous from what we're there for. So
Sure.
but I understand 100% both sides. There are a lot of people who feel the way you do, and a lot of people feel even more strongly about it that they should bring attention to these issues. And I get that, it's social awareness. So it's always a tricky line to walk. To me, though, I feel like it's not the time or place. But that's my opinion, and that's a lot of people different than me, and that's absolutely fine. I have no problem with that. Just
Yeah.
to me, and we got to the point. I mean, my brother and I, when everyone, a lot of the actors were giving their speeches, we started muting it because
Wow.
it was to the point where it's like, man, can I just enjoy and acknowledge the greatness of these films and filmmakers? Every 5 seconds, so I have to hear political this, political that, social issue that, social issue this. It's not, you know what I mean? To me, it's not what I watch for.
Yeah.
So we basically got to the point where we watched the awards be awarded. When the speeches started happening, we started muting them because it was like it's sad. But I mean, that's just my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people, I might get roasted in the comments for that, but I'm going to be as transparent and honest about that. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I think the point that you're making is some people are going to like it, some people that aren't. I don't think anybody's incorrect for feeling one way or another.
No.
I'm sure it was probably a little bit more extreme this year than maybe other years too, because we are going into an election year.
Right.
So everybody wants to put their 2 cents out there to, maybe not necessarily pull for an individual. Like I said, I didn't watch it, so I didn't know if anybody was like, vote for this person. But maybe along the like the lines of what certain people are into. Maybe I'm just speculating.
And I tend to just be like that anyway. Like I don't like politics and I don't follow it. So like, I don't really like it in my films. I don't really like it. I don't go to a film really to be lectured to about what I should believe or what I shouldn't believe.
Yeah.
So like, so I'm the same way with that. So like I might be a little more, firm in that belief than others.
Sure.
But like I don't necessarily like a film, that has a very strong, obvious political agenda. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't like that
I want to
either.
be entertained. So that's it. I just want to see a good movie. I don't really want to come to see that I want to be told I'm wrong for thinking this or I'm right for thinking that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you're definitely not the only person that feels that way too, because I've definitely seen and heard a lot of different people say with whether it's film or any form of entertainment, like it's an escape. It's
escapism,
you know what I mean?
You're
And
taking that away.
Exactly. So it's defeating the purpose almost.
Right. And that's what I feel like with the Oscars too.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's
it's
kind of sucky.
So, and it that's why I don't like it. But like I said, I'm fine if they want to say that. I've never say that they shouldn't or can't. You know what I mean? It's just my opinion that I don't think it's the place for it. But, they won. They can say whatever they want in their speech.
Yeah.
So, but that's just my opinion on it. So, anyway,
hold on, let me hop in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's
I don't
so
want to
funny
cut you off,
this up.
so I don't
No,
cut you
you're fine. The one thing that I saw via IG, and it's really funny because this is probably going to be like countering your point that you made.
Yes, go ahead.
I don't watch many award shows, so I don't really know super like a lot of what's going on in them. But I will say the thing that has always kind of annoyed me with award shows is when somebody hops up and just thanks people for 37 minutes straight. Which like, I really can appreciate people wanting to, if I'm the actor, say I win best male actor for a film, and I want to say, I couldn't have done this without my co-stars and without the production crew, so on and so forth. I think it's really nice, and it is good for those people to get their shine. But when people carry on thank over and over, it is a little dramatic. And I saw a clip of when Joaquin Phoenix won, and he was a little political with what he was saying.
His speech got really kind of weird though.
I liked it though because
because you love probably the animal thing, talking about the cows and stuff. Yeah,
we've talked about it on here. Like I ate vegan for a year, I still eat vegetarian, so like I'm on board with what he's saying. But yeah, that part aside, I did think it was really cool how he was just saying like, lead with love and compassion, and I was like, that's really nice. Like. That he went up there, and I did think it was personally, I felt that it was something nice for him to say, where it was just like a nice sentiment. But if you didn't feel that way, or if a lot of other people didn't feel that way, like I get it. People, like we talked about, it's escapism, and when somebody goes up there and they're like, the dairy industry is torture.
Right.
Like I can understand you being like, I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, right. And I 100% get that. A lot of people think these issues, and they rightly so, need to be brought to the spotlight, to the limelight. But to me, I just feel like there are maybe other avenues to do that where it's not at the Oscars.
Yeah, fair enough.
But that's my opinion. Like I said, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that. I might get attacked for that. We'll see. I'm fine with it. I can hold my ground on that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue with anyone about it because it's not worth it. But
we can have a discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. You and I are having rational discussion. We're not completely in agreement.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's great. So anything else to say about the Oscars thing?
I tapped out my Oscar knowledge right there. That's everything I know.
All I would say is that Parasite is a really good film. It probably would have been one of my last choices for Best Picture. I think out of the nominees, I really liked it. I'd probably get about a 9 out of 10, but I think this year had so many great films and it wouldn't be in the top 10 for me. So but I really liked it. A lot of people liked it a little more than me, and the director seems like such a cool dude. So I'm kind of glad he got the shine. I do think 1917 got robbed a little bit, but it was the favorite going in. I think a lot of people were shocked when it didn't win.
Yeah.
But it happens. So yeah.
Then the last thing I'll say is Annyeong Haseyo, which I think means hello, how are you in Korean?
There you
If
go.
I messed that up, I'm so sorry.
If so, we're just gonna roll with it.
Just you can roast me now too.
Yeah, roast him in the comments.
Yes.
Make sure to comment though, please.
Yeah, please.
Because we want to know what you guys think about all of this.
100%.
Okay, and so should we get into the social media thing?
Yeah,
guys?
for sure.
Okay, well we gotta probably hit the Penny one.
Yeah. We'll talk about that real quick.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of segues because this is film related.
Film related
So,
thing.
yeah,
So yeah, go ahead.
Will has he prepped me ahead of time, but we've talked about it on the podcast before. My man collects these figures, these movie replicas of certain characters, and they're all fantastic, A1, and he's thinking about adding another one to his collection.
Yes, and I did brief Nick before this. I am thinking about it, so it's not positive yet, but I'm strongly leaning towards the Pro. So I don't know if I've showed you guys yet. If you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, rather, please do. I think it's
Shameless plug.
And I will _Foxification. I think that's my username. It's Will Foxification, but it's pretty sure it's Will _Foxification.
And to our YouTube watchers, it'll be in the description.
Dude, I was disappointed you didn't vote on my poll because I knew I needed your vote on this.
So a little context. Okay, so we'll put up this Instagram post, and I did see it when it went live.
Yes.
And he's got a picture of, I'm going to spoil this a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so he's got this picture of Pennywise, right?
Yes.
And it just says something like, will I ever find love if I have this like in my house? And the poll just says yes or no. And I looked at it, bro. And I'm looking at it, and I whenever I go through stuff that I'm interested in on a story, I hold it, so it doesn't skip to the next one. And I'm thinking, and I'm looking at the yes or the no, and I'm like, to be honest, I was kind of leaning towards no because it's creepy. I don't like scary movies. Like, I hate scary movies. So I'm like, oof, like that'd be a no for me.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? I know Will's into these collectibles. Like, that's his thing. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to let this one slide. So it runs out of time, and I just go on to the next story. So that's why I didn't vote, because
it's all good. For
me, it would have been a hard no. But knowing your collection and how like grade A all that stuff is, and if you did get one, how good it would be, I was like, I feel like I can't give proper input. I was torn.
No, I understand completely. So basically the poll was this. I posted a 1-to-1 Pennywise bust. So it's a head and shoulders and, costume of Pennywise.
Creepy.
And it's creepy. Let's be real. It's creepy. But it looks amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks as good as it gets. I mean, this is like a replica. So this is actually not the thing that I think I'm going to end up buying. But basically I posted that poll and a picture of it, and I said, like, you had it exactly right. I said, will I ever find love? And I should have said true love if I put this in my house. Dude, did you know the vote for that was literally 50-50?
I saw.
Yeah.
Which is like even more nuts.
But you know what was crazy about it? And it was true, and I actually had a message or two about it. Basically, all the guys said yes, and all the girls said no.
Well, I think there's your answer.
But not all of them.
Okay.
There were like 2 or 3 that said yes.
Okay.
So like it wasn't all, but that's the gist of it. Basically, most of the women said no, and then most of the guys said yes. But some of the guys said no, and some of the women said yes.
Sure.
So it's not 100%. But you're right, that might be.
Yeah.
But it is pretty creepy, and maybe we can edit a photo in.
Yeah.
We'll edit a photo.
Will be tossed.
Yeah,
here.
we'll toss it. We'll toss a photo in. But the thing I'm looking at, the Pennywise, this is a half-scale statue, and I showed Nick a video of it before we started. This thing is made by Prime One. It's a Pennywise statue, so it's half scale. And I showed it to Nick, and Nick was like shocked because it's on a table. It's about a little under 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
So and Nick was like, how tall is Pennywise?
Yeah.
It's like half scale because it's on a table. So Nick was
the video, when they started the video, the table, the bottom of the table was like lined up, at least how I was seeing it, with the floor as people were walking by.
Yeah.
And he said it's half scale, and I was like, holy shit. Pennywise statue that's half the size is the same size as these people. He's literally gonna have to cut a hole in the ceiling so the Pennywise can fit. So the bottom floor, you're just like, that's a weird outfit. Somebody gets to the second floor of your house, the head is just staring at them. You're like, what the hell?
Well, actually, dude, I did measure downstairs because he's gonna go on the table.
Okay.
And I did measure. It should fit fine. But
that's good.
Yeah, but it is tall. Because I mean, the Infinity Gauntlet I have, the big ass gauntlet.
Yes.
It's 17 inches in height, bigger than that.
Yeah. That's a big figure.
It's gonna be big. But we're gonna post a picture of it too, I think.
Yeah.
We'll post it here.
100%.
So it's really important. One thing I told Nick, I told him, I don't know if I asked you how much you think it cost.
No, I don't think you might have asked, and then if you did, I didn't have an answer, so he just told me. But
yeah, so basically, it is $2,000.
Shoo. Woo, bands.
Yeah, so it is I think a once in like a lifetime type purchase. You know what I mean? It's one thing you do to splurge, like, and I'm not a rich man, not by any means. So I work in college. You know what I mean? I work in higher education, so I'm not rich. But anyway, but that's something I'm thinking about doing. And we'll post a photo. Let me know what you guys think I should do.
Yes.
Because I do have the space for it. And it's going to creep everyone out who walks in.
Dude, like I said, I don't like scary movies. I'm a big fan. I like all of Will's figures for what they are and like the passion that he has for it. It excites me. I like it. And like seeing them all, they're super legit. You know what I mean? These are not toys. They are legit replicas. So I know if and when he gets this Pennywise, it's going to be legit, but it's probably going to be the last one that I'm going to want to spend a significant amount of time looking at. Because, you know, I like looking at them. They're really good. But that one, I'm like, ooh, I don't know, man.
Well, I told a couple people about it, and they were like, you have to really remember that it's there each time you walk into the room.
Oh my!
Because the lights are going to be off, and you walk in, and he's just going to be there holding the balloon, and you're going to be like,
oh no!
Yeah. And he's going to be big, so it's like he's going to be tall. So
you could seriously creep some people out with that.
Well, he's going to be on the table, so he's going to be, you know,
like
on
eye level.
Yeah, he's going to be like,
oh no!
Yes.
Dude.
So, but I love, you know, I don't know if I told you, I love Pennywise. I love the It film so much. So like, he's such a, you know, one of my favorite characters. So to me, he's just one that like, I really want to get. So
yeah, we may have talked about this before, but very early on in my childhood, I watched a scary movie that freaked me out that I was like, man, I don't like scary movies. And then when I decided I was going to try another scary movie, I don't even remember where I was. I was at like a friend's house type thing, like friends of my parents. And they had It on, and I watched that for like 10 minutes, and I was like, nope.
It was probably the 91 It, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like the
with
old
Tim
school
Curry,
one. And I was like, nope, not doing it. I'm not getting back into the scary movie thing.
Well, the new it's definitely, Pennywise is definitely different. I mean, he's similar, but different.
Oh, yeah. Pennywise had the memes where, like, the gutter memes, right?
Yes.
That's funny.
Because in the first scene, there's a gutter and a kid, and it doesn't end well. But, you know, it's, That's why when we post the photo, you'll see the base. The base is like the gutter and the water and then a hand coming out of it.
Bruh.
Dude, I think the polls might be right. I'm probably never going to find true love, but it's worth it.
Now, look, if it was your first figure that you bought, be a little sus, but you've got a repertoire of all these like A1 things, and you'd be like, I love film. It could actually segue really nicely. You'd be like, ooh, I love film. Please let me show you.
Not for that one though.
No, you don't think so?
No, because they're gonna be like, "This is creepy. Oh my god, I gotta go buy." That's what it's gonna go. Because I mentioned it to a couple of my match dates I had way back. I don't think they were too thrilled about it. So,
well, it just means they weren't the one for you, man.
Hey,
and I've seen a lot of chicks that are into like horror type stuff. You know what I mean? We've talked about cosplay before. I know there's got to be chicks out there that do some scary cosplays, right?
Yeah,
and they would be down with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Not limiting you to the horror cosplay community, but I'm just saying.
I might be limiting myself with this purchase.
There's women out there that enjoy all things.
Yeah, that's very true. And Pennywise could be one of those things.
What's kind of coming to mind to me, so just to kind of like give you guys hopefully a decent visual of what Will's like a collection room looks like. He's got these like glass setups, and they're on theme, right?
So one thing I will say is I do have a video of it, but it's older. So like I'm gonna post a new one probably not this week, but next week. Like a tour. It's like a tour
perfect.
of everything.
Yeah.
But I do have one up right now. It was a little bit older, but it still has a lot of this stuff. And I have to show you some new stuff before you leave, actually.
Okay, perfect.
But anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's on theme, right? Like everything's together. Like there's Star Wars stuff together, there's Marvel stuff together, so on and so forth. But you've got that big closet that's down there. You should put all your scary movie stuff in the closet. So when you open the closet, it's even creepier.
Oh my God, that would be so crazy. Especially if you just opened it and Pennywise was there.
Yes.
Oh my
and like it's a very well lit room.
Yeah.
You put like, and it's got like a nice like white bright light. You put like a red like creepy light in the closet. When you open that and flick that on, it's like,
oh my God, don't give me ideas, dude. Don't give me ideas. I don't, for in all fairness, I don't think he'll fit in there, but that would be amazing,
dude.
So, oh my God, that'd be so good. I'm gonna check when we're done. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna go measure.
No.
I'm gonna go measure because I know Pennywise's measurements. So
people come over and they're like, "Oh, I want to see the figures and everything." You're like, "Okay, good. It's right in there. Don't go in the closet." People are like, "What's in the closet?"
Yes. But yeah, this Pennywise is just under 4 feet tall on the base. So like he's gonna be tall,
substantial,
and he's gonna be on top of the table. So already he's probably gonna be eye level. He's probably gonna be about my height.
Yeah.
with On Top of the Table. But anyway, okay, so we're done with Pennywise. We'll show you guys the pictures.
Yeah.
And then we're going to transition to our main topic.
Social media.
Yes. Do you want to introduce this one?
Yeah, so we want to talk about social media. Clearly, me and Will are doing a podcast. This is a form of social media. We've both been in YouTube before. We've both done streaming before. We're on Instagram. I'm not really on Twitter anymore, but I've done it before. Will's on Twitter now. So, we've dabbled in all sorts of social media, as most people have. But there's a big difference between, I think, just using social media for pleasure and enjoyment and actually trying to succeed in social media and be like a social media presence. And we just kind of want to touch on what we've done to kind of motivate ourselves through the beginning of social media phases, and try to grow a bit of a following. That being said, to preference this, the most followers I have on anything is 500, which is by no means knocking the door down. However, I do think it's one of those situations where you got to keep grinding, and everybody starts at zero. And just getting from zero to say 500, for example, that's an accomplishment in itself. And to continue to push through, which is what I'm currently doing right now, we're still making content. So we're just going to kind of talk about what we've been doing and how we stay positive through the process.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that we're probably going to hit on is following your passion and doing something you actually enjoy.
Yes.
Because if you're doing something for the money, that's going to be problematic because you're going to run out of steam really quickly when you're not successful right away. So that can be really big. So with the film thing, that's how I started, because I basically just started. And I started actually, I think the first video I did was actually a product review. It was a prop. So it was actually a lightsaber, because I got the lightsaber and, as Nick said, he introduced me very well in that sense. I'm really big into that stuff. So I think the biggest thing, if you want to start any sort of thing like that, definitely pick something you're passionate about that you're going to have longevity with, because if you don't, you're going to fizzle out pretty quickly.
For sure.
Because Nick and I briefly talked about this before we started, but you are not, it's extremely unlikely you're going to get any success quickly. So you might, because you might just have some viral hit and then you're just, an online sensation overnight. That's unlikely. So it's possible, but like you said, the grind. The grind is how I would describe it, because sometimes it does feel like that.
Yeah, and I think you did a way better job in half the time of kind of introducing what we do want to talk about. Because it is about pursuing something that you're interested in. And the whole reason that I started doing the different things that I have was because I did enjoy them, and I did see there's people that enjoy watching this stuff online. It's kind of a mix between, I see the people like this, I'd like to take my crack at it. I like being creative with things, and I think that making videos or making content in general is an opportunity to kind of showcase some creativity, and just do something a little bit fun, as well as if you're going to be doing it anyway. I think that's kind of what started with me. It's similar to Will, with the collectibles. I was really into buying shoes and streetwear and stuff like that.
Yep.
And it's man, if I'm going to buy the shoes and streetwear, I might as well, unbox it, show it off. This is something that I enjoy. I enjoy watching these videos, so I think I'd enjoy making these videos. And if it does end up being profitable, even better. But yeah, to your point, it's not something that I ever went in with the intention of I'm going to make all this money back. It's always at least for me, in the back of my head, it's something that would happen ideally. It's this would be really great if if you could even just break even on stuff that you're going to buy. But even if you don't, it's just a cool way to kind of showcase your things. And in a world of social media where, I don't know if this is a social media thing or maybe I'm just getting old, so I'm interacting with people less, but it's a cool way to show off and allow people to, kind of see what you're into without having to say, invite everybody over to say, look at my new pair of shoes.
Right.
Something like that.
And I think honestly, I started with movie reviews, and I started with the lightsaber review, but really, no, I think my first review was Captain America Civil War. I reviewed a movie.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to start with reviews because I was really passionate about movies. I was going to see a lot of movies anyway.
Sure.
So kind of like you said, I was going to see movies anyway, so why not start reviewing some? So I had that idea. And also, I don't know if I told you guys before, in one of the episodes we might have talked about it, I worked at a news station briefly. So
Yes.
I worked as a photographer editor, right? I hated it, but I learned some good skills. So, and one of them was editing. So, and I learned how to edit. So I was like, I need to use these skills for something.
Sure.
And I knew how to do it a little bit before the job, but once on the job, I grew in it. So, and I think getting started, if you're going to do something like this, gaming, movie reviews, product reviews, comedy, skits, whatever. Pick something that you're, like I said, you're going to stick with, because if you're not, you're going to fizzle out so quickly rather. Fastly is not a word. So like, you're going to fizzle out quickly, and then you're not going to be thrilled because you're going to get discouraged. And that's the biggest thing, I think. Don't get discouraged, and also you're going to get a lot of naysayers. Immediately.
100%.
Because like you're going to start and you're not going to get any views, and then people are going to be like, you suck. That's why you're not getting views. Like they will literally tell you that.
Yeah.
So,
I think, and it's really easy to pick at people at the bottom. We have talked about like people on the internet before, kind of like trolling, and I'm sorry, I can't talk. And
it's okay. I can talk. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I think we're good again. Yeah. I think it's really easy for people to see somebody that's not succeeding and just try to knock them down. It's a lot easier to do that with somebody that, maybe only has 5 views, 5 followers versus somebody that's got 500,000.
Right.
And I think that's, once again, people's maybe own insecurities coming out where it's like, I can't do this, you can't do this either type deal. But I mean, power through. Do your thing. And kind of the encompassing point is, if you like it, it shouldn't matter to you that much. Mm-hmm. If you're doing it because you enjoy it, if you truly enjoy it yourself, I mean, numbers are great, right? Like it's an ego boost. Like it feels really good to get good numbers. But if you're enjoying it anyway, keep doing your thing.
I think the biggest thing where I started was I wanted to connect.
Sure.
Because my brother is actually probably the only person, my mom too, but she doesn't see a lot of the stuff. She sees the more Oscar stuff.
Sure.
But my brother goes to see a lot of the movies with me. And other than him, I didn't really have anyone I could really talk to about this stuff, especially the lightsabers and other stuff, because he likes that stuff, but not like me. I'm pretty much the only person. I have one friend actually nearby that I can talk to about it, but everyone else I met online. So like I was looking for a chance to connect in a community. So I was like, well, why don't I bring some value, bring something to that community. So that's how I started.
Dude, I'm so glad I'm having this conversation with you, because you're like reminding me of all the reasons I did stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, I was really into like sneakers and streetwear, and I've been into that stuff for years now. But where me and Will live, where we're from, it's not a huge thing. Like there's not a lot of people that are really into sneakers. And I do remember thinking early on when I got into sneakers from one of my buddies, one of our mutual pals, Jamie.
Oh yeah.
Jamie's the one that got me into
like
sneakers. Yeah. I actually used to work at Finish Line just because a kid on like the ball team like told me, he's like, oh yeah, we need people come work here during the summer. I didn't know anything about shoes. I could not tell you a single thing. And so later, after I stopped working at Finish Line, our buddy Jamie did, and he kind of got me excited about shoes. So I started like scrolling the internet, trying to find things. But besides him, nobody else was into shoes. I could wear what I knew were like the nicest pair of shoes. Like I remember when I got my first pair of like retro Jordans. So there's a big difference between just Jordan brand sneakers and retro Jordans, right?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, see? And a lot of people don't know, nor do they give a shit, right? But I'd wear them and I'd be like, man, I'm wearing these really awesome sneakers. Cool. But nobody in the area like gave a shit, because they didn't know. They didn't know if they were supposed to be special or not. And if it doesn't appeal to you, it doesn't appeal to you. So no big deal.
Right.
But yeah, so connecting with people online through social media, and even before I was making content on it, just like Facebook groups and stuff like that was really cool.
Yeah.
So it is a nice way to connect and ingratiate yourself into a community.
And I think also too, start. That's the biggest tip. I mean, because I think most people probably never start because it's a fear of being judged. And we have talked about on several episodes, like if you are going to be in that realm, then you have to be open to criticism, because you're going to get it whether you want it or not. So, and I get it all the time. Sometimes like I said, I'll get called stupid. I'll get told I look autistic. I get told my beanie is stupid. Everything under the sun, basically.
Assholes.
So like, and I just, and I mean, it's their opinion. So I mean,
that's true.
It's not something I would say to someone else. Like you said, I would just click off it and move on.
Yep.
But you have to be willing. Growing a thick skin takes some time, because at first you're going to like really be affected by it a little bit.
Yeah.
So like as you become more accustomed to what it entails, then you'll be less affected by it.
Yeah, and to be totally honest, your first videos, if that's what you're doing, your first streams, if that's what you're going to be doing, your first photos, posts, whatever it's going to be, probably are going to be not that good.
Right.
Like if we're being honest, and but you develop as you go. It's like with any skill, the more you do something, the better you'll get at it, so on and so forth. I remember the first, not the first video I posted. I used to vlog like years ago.
And they were good though.
Well, do you remember?
Yeah, I watched them.
This is a few years ago. I was living in Silver Spring, and then I stopped. I actually like went through a breakup with a girl, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't vlog more because I thought it would be insensitive. And then when I started dating somebody else, I was like, well, I don't want to vlog again because I feel like that would be weird. So anyway, it took me a while to get back into it, and I honestly wish I'd never stopped, because another motivator for me with like films, and especially or filming, and with vlogs in general, is it's like a timestamp. It captures things that you've done in your past. And that's what I've always tried to tell myself is, regardless if anybody watches this, if anybody likes it, if anybody, comment, like, and subscribe, like if anybody does any of those things, whatever, it'll be cool for me to look back on 5 years from now and remember like, oh, that's what we were doing at that time. That's what was cool. That's like what the slang was. I've always tried to think about those types of things. And that's always been a cool motivator for me, just to think like, it'll be cool because I have an awful memory to go back and like remember through like a video, like, oh yeah, like that's what was really cool.
Yeah. And I think for me, I think you made a really good point though too about the time thing. I've looked back at my older reviews and be like, oh, I had hair. Or, stuff like that, right? Like the good glory days.
Yeah.
No, I don't feel that way. But basically, I agree. Like basically in the beginning, it's going to be difficult. And also like in the beginning, it's unlikely that your videos are going to be really good in the beginning. So you just have to kind of build up an audience that values you no matter, that what you're offering. And then they're going to be with you to improve. Like you can, even online, you can spot the genuine people that really want you to succeed. Because in my beginning, like if I don't even really like watching my old videos, because
it's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, because like I moved a lot, like with my shoulders, and I was like, it was weird. So like, and if you watch my old videos, you'll see that. So I've become more comfortable, and I don't really do that anymore.
Sure.
And also, I talk more conversationally and less scripted now. So and I had to adjust that after a while. So they evolve. Right? Your videos evolve, and it changes. And like, I watch my new videos, I feel like I'm so much more conversational and natural than the older ones. So it's like the older ones, it just feels weird. So,
and the more that you've done it, the more comfortable that you've got doing it, the easier it is. And I think it can be awkward too, especially if you start doing some sort of like videos or whatever it may be during like your formative years, because you're awkward anyway. So, you know what I mean? Like you're awkward
I'm
already.
awkward all the time.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got a little awk in them.
If I'm buying a $2,000 Pennywise, I'm awkward. So.
No. You're niche.
There we go. That's a glass half full approach.
Yeah, there we go. But you're kind of awkward. You're doing something new, so it feels a little awkward. But you kind of mentioned like people that are authentic online that like want you to succeed. I think you need to be authentic with yourself and make sure that you're excited about what you're doing. And I will share too, I used to make, we've talked about it 6 times already, reviews and unboxings on sneakers and streetwear and all that kind of stuff. And going back to the editing thing that Will said earlier, I've enjoyed learning how to edit. Part of it that was fun for me was just learning a new skill. I always grew up doing team sports and stuff like that, which involve having more people around to be successful. But then when you're editing, you can be good at editing all alone, right? So it's a skill that I had to learn to work on by myself. And I did think that the content that I was making was not matching the level of editing that I could produce, and it got boring to me. So I stopped. I didn't want to force it because I didn't want to make poor content. I don't know if this is like a bass-ackwards way of thinking about it, but I didn't want to make bad content. So I wanted to do more stuff that kind of matched what I could do editing-wise. And that's what got me into streaming. Because I thought like when I'm just sitting down talking to camera and I'm shooting these videos and editing them, I'm trying really hard to edit them to make it cooler than what it is, to make it more entertaining. Okay. Whereas if I am just sitting down talking to camera, I might as well do it live or do it in a podcast type format where that's what the viewer is kind of like looking for.
Right.
So I just followed what my interest took me to, and that's what led me to, doing the streaming and then now doing the podcast with Will. And I think that kind of fits what I enjoy, and I'm able to be a lot more enthusiastic about it than what I was with my YouTube videos previously.
Right. If you lose that passion, that's tough to regain. But I think one of the biggest things is a little bit, finding a niche because
100%.
Because the problem is what a lot of people want to do are things that people are already doing in mass.
Yes.
So like for me, movie reviews, like there are 50 million channels that do movie reviews on YouTube. I had to, and just lately I've had to readjust my mindset to make myself a little more niche. So I do request reviews almost exclusively now. I did review Birds of Prey recently, so I will review some bigger releases like that. Like, of course, I'll review like Avengers and stuff like that and Star Wars. Yep. But mostly I'm going to be focusing on requests, older films, niche films, obscure films, because I needed something to separate me from everyone else. So like, then no one else to my knowledge is doing that except for me. And people like it because they're like, oh, you're reviewing these older movies, and I'm, not only exposing myself to older movies that I never would have watched, but other people, I'm doing the same. So like something like that where you're providing a value and a service that is unlike others. So like someone who I'll give a shout out to on YouTube, I don't know if you don't follow movies, you probably haven't seen him, but John Campia.
Shout out John.
He has a large following on YouTube now, but he does like movie news. So he talks all about the movie news, and I watch a lot of his videos, but no one else is doing that. Like everyone else is doing movie reviews or like, some rumors and stuff, but he does super hard hitting like good movie news and criticism and commentary that's unique. So, and that separates him. So,
yeah, I think you are diving into more of the, like, how to be successful if you want to do this, which, finding a niche is super important because, like you're saying, if you're doing something that everybody else is doing, it's going to be hard to stand out.
Yep.
Another thing that you can do, though, and it sounds like maybe this guy does, one, it can be niche, but also if your production is really well done, like that'll help you stand out as well. If you are interested in doing something, movie reviews, what's something like a mukbang? I think that's a pretty popular thing on
mukbang?
YouTube. Oh, well, I picked the wrong thing. People just eat on camera.
I'm too old. I don't understand. Man. What do you mean they just eat on, like they just get fast food or something and eat?
Yeah, I mean, it could be, yeah. A mukbang is just like eating on camera, and people like, say, for example, they have a cheeseburger, they'll bite into it, they're like, this cheeseburger is so good.
Is that like the thing where, what is it called? ASR, where people whisper?
ASMR? Different. I guess you could do
an ASMR. Do you watch ASMR?
Nah. It's like, it's not my cup of tea. I'll just say that. God. But I'm sure you could do an ASMR mukbang where you can say, wow, the salt on this French fry is delicious. You could do something like that.
Maybe I should do movie reviews in ASMR.
That would be like a niche of a niche.
Yes.
A movie request, an ASMR request.
He'll be like, City of God is so realistic.
Yeah. He'd be like, listen to the wings. Bro, you just spin a wheel, right? Look, here's what you do. I'm helping Will produce his videos now,
Thank
okay?
you.
I'm signing up on board. You get 2 wheels, okay?
Okay.
You get 1 wheel of movies that people have asked for. Let's say there's like 6 of them, right?
Okay.
Let it spin, whatever it lands on, cool. Then you get a second wheel that's got 6 things of like niche types of videos to make. So you have ASMR, mukbang, all this kind of stuff.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it spins on it. You pick a movie and you review it in that style of video.
Oh my God.
Boom. We're double niching it now.
There we go. Well, that's like a triple niche.
A triple niche.
You're doing request, and then you're doing ASMR, or spinning a wheel or whatever, and then you're doing mukbang.
But I'm saying you would pick out of those things.
But still,
yeah,
still double, triple niche either way.
We just made a whole different type of content.
Channel. We just changed the channel forever.
Yep.
Now I got to get a wheel though.
Yeah, you need 2 wheels.
Yeah, you need 2 wheels.
You just get 1 wheel, you just erase it afterwards.
So people just eat on camera?
Yeah, there's people just eat on camera, and there's people that love it. There's like live streams of this stuff too. I actually got introduced to it. Wow, this stuff is all coming full circle. When I used to do my first vlogs with my girlfriend, who happened to be, we're full circling it one more time, Korean, which is how I learned Anya.
Parasite.
Yeah, so many like tie-ins today. She like introduced me to, there was a lot of, I don't know if it was solely this, it's just, what it happened to be at the time. She was Korean. She showed me a lot of these Korean chicks, tiny little girls that would eat like pounds of food.
I've seen that.
But they would be like super cutesy, like when they would do it, and people, I guess, enjoyed watching it. It's never really been my thing. If I like a creator, and they want to do a mukbang, sure, whatever. I'll sign up to watch you eat, the hottest fried chicken. Like, yeah, that's cool. It sounds good because I like watching that person. But I don't necessarily go out of my way to watch mukbangs or ASMR.
Have you watched like one, I don't know if this count as mukbang, but like I saw one video where a girl like ate a stick of deodorant. Did you see that? Yeah. So it's like, and I think she's eating a bunch of other weird stuff that like you could die.
Yeah, so
but like it's real. It's real. She's not faking it.
That's I don't know if you would consider that mukbang or not, but if they're doing it, that reminds me of, do you remember the old YouTuber Shoe Nice? Who did the same thing? He would like chug bottles of like alcohol in like insane speeds. Like he'd get like a bottle of like Bacardi, for example, and he's like, I'm gonna try to slam this bottle of Bacardi in 4 seconds, and I'd be like, there's no way, and go, and I was like, holy shit, he did it.
He's gonna die.
Yeah, that's like tempting death videos.
Yes, I know, right? Well, you know Joey Salads, the prankster?
Kind of, yeah.
He did one where like the guy was vaping and he put pepper spray in his friend's vape.
Oh,
so he vaped
God.
pepper spray. I'm like, you could die from that.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's probably like
I know, he was laughing. Supposedly it was real.
I
so
gotcha.
He does a lot of fake stuff too, but supposedly that one's real. The guy was like, you could tell I was like, damn, this is like cringy to watch because I'm like, he could die. So
that's another thing that's kind of
imagine
like,
if you sprayed pepper spray in your throat.
that would suck.
Yeah.
I would never want to do it. I guess once it takes on vape form, everything gets better. So in spray form, it's like, oh, this is terrible. In vape form, you're like, wow, it's got a great flavor.
But I guess you would literally be spraying pepper spray into your lungs.
Yeah, seriously.
That's like death.
Oof,
That's like and your eyes hurts enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been pepper sprayed, but
I
I've
didn't
seen
want
a lot of
anywhere
movies.
near me.
Yeah, me either.
But yeah, that's another thing with content creation. There's a lot of fake stuff out there. You got to be careful. Right. And I do think this is maybe slightly off topic, but like a lot of I say a lot. This is just me like generalizing big time. But appealing to kids, they're a lot easier to manipulate.
Yes.
And I think like fake stuff works on kids.
It does.
So the point that I guess I'm getting at is if you want to blow up on YouTube, do a lot of fake stuff, appeal to kids. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, that's true. I mean, like it's completely unethical, but I mean, if you want to, honestly, the quickest path to stardom is the kids. Because the kids are the biggest demographic on YouTube. So like the way to make money is make kids content. But now YouTube's a little tricky with kids content because they separate it.
Yeah.
Where like you've seen that, right?
Yeah.
So like where like and that stuff's whole really scary because like if I review Frozen 2, is my content kids content? You know what I mean? Like that's where
maybe
it's like,
one video.
Mine's not though because I won't say that. But if I review a movie like that, I might drop an F-bomb or something just to make it clear. You know what I mean? Like
just to make it clear that this is not for kids.
Yeah. It's not for effing kids. That's what I'll do. That's what people have done.
That's your disclaimer at the beginning.
Right. Yeah. Disclaimer. Not for effing kids. You know what I mean? So yeah, and that's what people have done. I've seen it. So
yeah, I don't even go near that option. I just leave it alone because you're going down a slippery slope, and I think that's a quick way to get demonetized on YouTube too. Because as soon as you slip up, YouTube's like, no, this person's been blacklisted. Like they can no longer make kids content.
And mine, like. You know, I'm not reviewing cheap things. I'm reviewing, high-end replicas. So if I review a lightsaber, is that kids content? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it is because kids aren't buying $500 lightsabers.
Nope.
So that's why to me it's not. But like, if I ever felt like I got penalized for that, I'd be like, and I looked at my audience, information, my audience analytics.
Demographics.
Basically they're viewing kids as under 13. So my percent of audience of under 13 is 0%.
Wow.
So like if I ever got dinged or something like that, I'd be like, let's look at my analytics here. No kids are watching my content. All my audience is like typically 18 to 30. That's about my range.
Yeah,
basically our age. Yeah. Sometimes older, 18 to 40, somewhere in there, but basically guys, mostly men our age.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There is one thing that I definitely want to talk about that we kind of breezed over and it sparked another thing in my head too.
Yeah.
If you are looking to be successful, going to the, I think we kind of touched on, how to get into it.
What are we at time-wise?
We're past 47 minutes.
Okay, so we're good.
Yeah, so we're in good shape. If you want to just get into it, do something that you like, do something that you enjoy. If you want to be successful, like we talked about, do some niche stuff. Try to figure out how you can have a production that separates you from other people. But also something that I've always thought about is I want to be somebody that if somebody does watch my content, they enjoy it because they enjoy me.
Yeah.
Or, in this podcast, because they enjoy you and I. Not necessarily what we're talking about. Hopefully they do enjoy what we're talking about. But at the end of the day, I think I want to be somebody that people just enjoy me as a person. So they'd be willing to hang out with me regardless of what the content is. Because there are a lot of people that maybe they only do like a toy review. I'll bring up a Slinky. So if you only did Slinky reviews, and I don't think kids know what Slinkies are anymore.
You don't think so?
I don't know, man. Are Slinkies still made? Do kids play with Slinkies?
That's a really good question.
They've got other shit like iPads.
I don't. That's a lot better.
iPad Slinky. They just throw it down the steps.
There probably is a Slinky app on iPad. I'm positive there has.
Oh my gosh! You don't actually use a Slinky anymore. You literally just tap it and it just goes down the stairs.
I swear, there has to be.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, I'll look it up while you're talking.
Yeah. So because of that, like. I would hate to be a person that gets really successful off of Slinkies in this example, and then Slinkies go extinct, and then it's like, oh, well, I can't do social media anymore. Or you've got to really just start from ground zero again and try to work yourself back up. So I would just try to be personally, and what I literally try to be is just an entertaining person. Somebody that I want to be positive, like we've talked about on this podcast, kind of like the point of our podcast is to take an optimistic look on things.
Yeah.
And just be somebody that people want to spend time while they're on the internet friends, be somebody that they want to spend time hanging out with.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is the biggest thing to me. I think maybe one of the biggest things, I completely agree with you, is to have an audience that comes for the creator, not the content.
Yes.
So and I think building that is tough. So that's why with me, I answer every comment I get, except for the ones except for the ones that are trolling me and just insulting me. Those I won't answer. But everyone else who's giving me even honest criticism where they're respectful, I will answer that. But if they just say hey, you're stupid, I won't answer it. But if they say something hey, I love this movie, I wanted to talk about this, I'll answer it and talk about it with them. So I do it because I engage, and I think you build that trust and rapport because I actually like it. I mean, I'm with you, so I like talking. That's why I did it. I did the channel. I made it because I wanted to talk about movies and put my opinion out there.
And I was thinking about it earlier today because I knew we were going to talk about this episode. Mm-hmm. It's called social media for a reason. You need to be social with people. You need to, if you want to be successful with what you're doing, you need to respond. And that's something that I've been working on lately. I made a separate Instagram just for my gaming, just so I could put clips and stuff on there.
I got to follow you then.
Yeah. I mean, if you're interested in watching Fortnite clips, shameless plug, Nick's IRL Games. So
okay, I'll look at Nick's IRL Games. I'll look
I literally just started it, so I'm trying to grow it, and I do this with all of my YouTube videos, and especially Twitch. I mean, live streaming is basically just entertaining and interacting with people. But I respond to every comment, just like what you're saying, and I've started even if somebody, because it's new, and I don't think this is a bad thing, whether you're a new page, a new channel, a new stream, whatever it may be, or if you've been there for a while, I respond to people, and people that have been following me early on, I literally send them a message. I say, hey, thank you for following me. Nice. I really appreciate it. Just stuff like that. And it's kind of a thing that I've heard Gary Vee. You know who Gary Vee is?
I don't think so.
It's a social media guru guy. He's got a lot of good insights.
Okay.
And yeah, that's something he talks about, a lot of you need to be responsive with your people, right, with your following and stuff like that. And once you get too big time for people, people aren't dumb. They can sense that.
Right.
And I want to be genuine and interact with people. And, whether it's the first person or the 100,000th person, that's so hard to say.
100,000th person.
Thank you.
That is really hard, though.
That's
you have to really take your time with it.
Yes, I definitely screwed that up on more than one syllable.
It's totally okay. I mean, it's a hard phrase.
Yeah, man. Say
hard
10
string
times
of
fast.
words.
But regardless of who it is, just the fact that people took time out of the day and they hit follow or they hit subscribe or, they chime in and have something to say. I think that's really cool. And I think that is social media-ing when you can call somebody to give you some sort of interaction.
Right. And you have to be smart about it too, in a sense. There is a line to that, I would say, because, I've gotten some weird messages, I would say, and some things where I just ignore it. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. When people follow you on other platforms, but the relationships I have built with people, through my YouTube channel, I trust. Like I said, I'll bounce ideas off them.
Sure.
So I have probably maybe 3 to 4 that I really are really engaged and answer and watch every video, comment on every video. So I know them, and on Instagram, most of the time I'll follow the person back if I know who it is.
Yep.
So I message them, I'm hey, I'm thinking about doing this. As a viewer, would you like this or would you like this? And they'll give me their honest opinion, and it's respectful. They're never mean about it. They're I would like that, or no, I don't think I would. And then I trust it. You know what I mean? I'm okay, that's kind of like a test audience.
It's your core audience as well. You know, it's the people that helped get you started, and especially I am very thankful for the first few people that ever followed me on YouTube or subscribed on YouTube, the first few people that followed me on Twitch, because they're the people that give you an idea of okay, I'm doing something right at least. And then, those people can help guide you and steer you in the right direction. So it's good to, take their advice as well as critiques.
And I think maybe the biggest thing as we wrap this up, and there's a lot we've covered, I think, but one of the biggest things is, unless you're playing some sort of caricature or a comedy sketch, be yourself.
Yes.
Don't be something you're not, and don't express opinions that are. One thing I think is very, very tempting and easy to do is to fall into peer pressure.
Sure.
So and I'll do this a lot of times. I'll throw out there a little bit of a caveat or something along those lines, preparing people for what I'm about to say. If I'm watching a movie and I'm about to review it and I know people love it and I hated it, I will say this is not going to be my most popular review, but this is my honest opinion. I know I'm going to get hit with the dislikes. I know I'm gonna get a lot of people pissed at me, but I wouldn't be able to live with it if I sat there and lied to you, be like, this movie's great. And I hated it. You know what I mean? One example, Shape of Water was one that won Best Picture. Was it last year? It was either last year or the year before. And won Shape of Water. I hate The Shape of Water. I think it's probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And it won Best Picture. People are not happy that I said that, but I did not like it at all. And I love the director and his previous work, but I hated that movie. So I mean, I understand the artsiness of it, but it's not for me. But basically, be yourself, right?
Yeah,
be yourself,
sure.
and don't be something you're not. And like you said, if you want to build that relationship and that rapport, people can smell, they can sense dishonesty,
for sure,
fakeness, for lack of a better term. They can sense that insincerity. So it's such a big thing.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, it could come back to bite you in the ass later,
right?
If you're just putting on a face and putting on a show,
yeah,
it could fall through the cracks later,
right?
So just be honest with yourself, and you're all good.
And put your hard work into it. That's all you can do. And engage and put yourself out there. Marketing is a little bit tricky. That's like almost its own topic. But basically, you have to be careful about where and how you do it, because to sum it up quickly, like if you have a community you can post things in, that's ideal. A lot of communities don't appreciate self-promotion. They'll just remove it.
Definitely
Reddit is not the place to self-promote.
Definitely not.
Trust me, I've tried. And it's never gone well. So I don't do it because they hate it and you will get chastised for it. And get in trouble sometimes. So don't do it. Don't try Reddit. Maybe you might find a sub that will work, but most often than not, they can recognize that it's your video and it'll just get downvoted. Not always, but that's been my experience. So be careful, promote where you can, tell your family and friends, and engage and connect with people.
For sure.
That's the biggest thing. So any final thoughts on that? As we conclude and wrap things up?
I would just say to wrap things up.
Yeah.
If you're going to dive into social media, be yourself, do something that you like. If you want to be successful, try to find like a niche of that thing that you like.
Yeah.
Do your best to put some work in, put in some effort, try to up your production value, and just be authentic and engage with your audience. Be social on social media.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say.
Yeah. Get the production value as high as you can. Not everyone's going to have like a professional setup. Live within your means, as always.
Yeah, 100%.
And yeah, I think that pretty much puts the cap on that topic. And I think as we wrap up, just a couple of things to note here.
Sure.
Almost announcements, if you will. Maybe we should have done this in the beginning.
No, let's do it now.
We'll do it either way. It's getting done.
It's for the real ones that stuck all the way through.
There you go. Right, the real ones. Shout out to the real ones. So logo is coming.
Yee.
That's in progress, actually. So that's being made. It looks good so far. It's going to look even better soon. That's being made. Live streaming is hopefully going to be coming sometime soon. Nick and I are going to have to sit down and figure that out. We're still working out the kinks of that. Third thing, what was the third thing? It's slipping my mind. The third thing basically, do you have any announcements while I think of it? Because it was in my head, now it's not.
Let's see. Okay, logo coming.
Yes.
We're brainstorming on getting this on Twitch.
Oh,
and
that's
the third thing.
That was it. Because Twitch, yes, but like it's coming to Spotify. It's coming to Apple Podcasts and Stitcher and all of that soon. We actually got a subscription now that hosts our podcast.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be coming to Apple Podcasts, which will make things a lot easier for the SoundCloud listeners, because we're probably not going to have anything on SoundCloud anymore, I would say, because we're running out of space.
Yep.
So basically, it's going to be on, like I said, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, all that. That'll all be hosted with our podcast, Will and Nick Save the World. It'll have our logo, so you'll know. So make sure to subscribe on whatever platform you like best. That's probably the big announcement, I would say.
For sure. And to also cap off the social media thing and the marketing, if you enjoyed this podcast, share it with a friend.
Please do.
Yeah, comment, like, and share it with a friend. Subscribe, I guess, if that's a thing.
And and I think what we're doing is literally proof of what we've been saying this entire episode.
Sure.
Like, guys, we're just starting out. So we have I think at the time of this video, 8 subscribers on YouTube.
Yep.
I mean, we were getting maybe 15 to 20 views a video, but that's not stopping us because we enjoy doing it. We think we're putting out something valuable.
For sure.
And it will grow.
Yep.
Just like a flower, right? It'll blossom.
Yes, it surely will. And then when we look back on this 5 years from now and look at our questionable attire and the weird things that we were saying, we'll be able to have a laugh and say, well,
questionable attire.
5 years from now, it might be.
Might be.
It might be.
We're going to be on hoverboards and transparent shirts. Who knows? It'll be like Back to Future.
Yeah, we wore clothes back then.
What? What is this?
I can't believe that.
I know, right?
Oh, man.
That outfit is so dated.
Yeah.
That'll be us, basically.
But hopefully we'll be able to say through our terrible outfits and attire and our weird slang that we had to navigate, we gave some decent advice
Right.
and had some good attitudes and outlooks.
Yes, and we're saving the world.
We are.
I wanted to say changing the world, which we are, but we're also saving it. So that one takes precedence.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
That's
the save or the change.
That could be a whole episode on that because okay, let me think about that. So I guess you save it first and then you change it. Would you agree?
You save it and then you change it.
Because if you save it first, that changes
that's
it
true.
by because if you save it, you're just status quoing. You're keeping it the same.
If you save it, then if things are, you know what?
This is hard hitting.
We'll save this for later, okay? I think this has been episode 7.
Yeah, I think so. Is there anything else we need to add?
Follow our social medias. They'll be plugged in the link on YouTube.
Yes. And other than that, we'll end it at that. So episode 7. Let us know in the comments what you guys thought about everything we discussed. Oh, one more announcement. Oh, and I forgot. This was actually going to be 3, so we actually have 4 now. Clips are coming.
Yes.
At some point, clips are coming, so we're gonna make these bite-sized clips about. And there goes our screen, so we need clips. We're gonna make bite-sized recordings of our podcast and say like Will and Nick discuss X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? They're gonna be bite-sized clips, so you don't have to watch the whole thing if you don't want, or we can watch the whole thing. You can catch certain clips of it and so forth. So with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off for episode 7, right?
Yep. That's the end of episode 7. Bye.
See you guys. Thanks for watching or listening.